and White within my sexy business team. We're back for session 4 of the Collaboration Summit. I am super excited about our next guest. And yes, I know I'm super excited about every one of them because these are the graduates of the Collaboration 101 class, the very first group. And I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to have them, on this summit so that I can tell the world about how amazing they are. Now, here's the problem with this next beautiful lady. She's got so much that I can't even remember to repeat. So I'm actually going to read this to you because I can't keep up with her. She's got so much amazing sauce. Our next speaker is Jodi Friedman. She's a Reiki master teacher who coaches, speaks, specializes in group meditations and breath work to help people create deep, loving connections through spiritual awareness and healing from the inside out. Here's the crazy sauce that I love to talk about. And this is almost the backstory starting there and going forward. After having a successful career in real estate for over 30 years, she shifted, she pivoted, she changed it up, and she partnered with an agent to keep her foot in the door for her large client base, but she laser focused on her thriving Reiki practice. She was the cover girl for Las Vegas Woman magazine in the summer of 2017 edition. She shares her compassionate and inspirational story of changing careers in her 50s to follow her passion. Since then, Jodi has become a contributing writer for the Woman's magazine. I want you to know I can keep going and keep going and keep going about this lady on a personal level, but I seriously am so in awe of her because she is a master coach and practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. She's a thought leader. She's a movie star. She is actually in the Becoming the Keys series. I just am so amazed. She is with Brian Tracy and Don Miguel Ruiz and Joe Vitale. This is who she hangs out with. I just want to point that out to you. So she is from Nevada, and she is super fun, and she is one of the sweetest people on the planet. Welcome, Jodi Friedman, to the Collaboration Summit.
Thank you, Kim. It's such a blessing and an honor to be here, and it's really lovely, and shocking, really, to hear you speak something that I'm in creation with, and I don't even know what to say. Hearing it back in my own ears, it's almost like I don't want to say too much because I'm a creator with my clients about walking the talk and walking with humility and grace and creating an effortless life. But really, honestly, Kim, to hear the kindness of your thoughts and about my creation is it's just fabulous. I don't know what to do with myself right now. And
well,
thank you.
You are amazing on so many levels. And I think it's so funny because you are still so humble. And I love that about you because you definitely own these things, but you also are very gracious and humble when you hear them out loud. And so I think you're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a whirlwind year for me as these things have been created, and I'm sort of coming to the fruition part of seeing how these things are supporting other people. I just created a group I'm so proud of that you're a part of, that I asked you to be a part of after we did our collaboration class that you created. It's, if I can share, Gabby Bernstein, she's She's one of the heroines that I just so admire. She studies A Course in Miracles. Um, she's done work with one of my teachers, Wayne Dyer. I followed him from the 70s or 80s. I created even the name of my business, which is Intentional Healings, from Wayne Dyer's work. And Gabby to me emulates the feminine of Dr. Wayne Dyer, who really helped people change on so many levels. And so I'm doing a 40-day, we're on day 32 today, day of lessons, daily lessons, where I give a daily meditation based on the work. And then I do the reading in the book and help. We've got about 54 people or so in the group. And these daily lessons help people with their finances, having an abundant mindset for wealth, health, relationships, relationship with self. And the creation of this is just being towards the end of it now. And I'm going to leave that group open for people to go back and listen to some of their favorite meditations. And some of the people have bought the book. It is just creating on such a deep level. It's the second time I'm going through this. And when I walk my talk, it helps other people do the same for themselves. So we're getting a lot of miracles in the group. And that's why I'm part of this. This journey has just been the most recent thing that brings me daily joy to be out there and doing what I love for myself and others.
And it's so amazing to see you thriving so much in what you're intended to do. I think that's one of the big points with your entire life, is that you've chosen the like excellent stuff instead of just the good stuff. You were a very successful real estate, you had a very successful real estate career, not just dabbling like some people do. You were like established. And for you to take that and shift to doing what your very heart desired was huge. And I'm 51. And to think about everything I've done before now, that I'm going to shift and do something different would be huge.
It's an undertaking for sure. And this is what, when I was in the magazine, Kim, this is what the magazine is about. This is me a year ago. See if I've got it on screen. Believe it or not. Yes, it is. It's airbrushed and photoshopped, I'm sure. But I did look like this a year ago before I shaved my head in India. So I'll speak to that point that you brought up. And the reason I did this is because I've been a healer for over 20 years. Reiki is my lifeblood. It's universal life force energy that comes from the highest source, high vibration, whatever people want to call it, universe, God, the Holy Spirit. It comes from that place. So I have to step back and witness and just allow that frequency and that energy to fill me and to facilitate healing with other people. When I call myself a healer, it's really a healing facilitator, to stand in as a conduit for people. And so I was always doing a balancing act of, I started out in the 80s as a special education teacher. And things didn't work out in that field for me because I just had some life changes. But I've always been a teacher and an educator. And then I found real estate in the early 80s. And with a 35-year career, I still have my big toe in real estate. I have a partner who goes out and does all the physical work, everything that after 30 some years, I was tired, because that brain, that lobe of the brain that has to be on all the time as an entrepreneur. I didn't close down the entrepreneur brain, but I closed down the everyday driving in the Las Vegas 110 to 120 degree heat, take buyers into homes where there's no air conditioning. I didn't want to do that part anymore. So my beautiful younger partner, Jacob, he does that, and he hires people to do that, but we have the same ethics. We have the same work ethic, moral value system. So he gives me a check every month. I just send him leads and clients, because people who want to still work with me, I tell them, You'll get that through Jacob, and he has all the enthusiasm I used to have. And you'll get the same type of a job if you want to create that with him that I would have given you. But these bones want to do healing. So I married really my career in real estate, where I was doing 80% of my time there, and I was doing 20% healing. I was actually running a healing center, doing private sessions, facilitating other healers out of my center, helping them create a schedule, and then still putting the full time into real estate because it's what was paying the bills at the time. That was about 3-4 years ago. Had to close down that center because I had too much going on, Kim, and I was like spinning my wheels. So I decided, what if I were to take and do 80 or 90% of my passion, which is healing? I mean, I had gone to Canada, gotten certified as a master coach and practitioner in NLP. And now I am coaching full time and doing Reiki sessions and bringing in the healing modalities into my coaching work. And that suits me just fine. Then all of my systems are firing on high. I'm making the kind of money I made in real estate and will make even more than I made in real estate. I tell you what, I don't know how this happened, but I know I said a prayer to God and said, please let me do my passion instead of dreaming about my passion and doing what it takes to survive. That just wasn't working after a while. So that's how I found my way. And when you call me a movie star, let's back up there. We just finished this week, 2 days ago, filming a project that is very spiritually based called, it's the Keys movie. It's the third in a trilogy of the Key movies. And it's called Becoming the Keys. Writer and producer and co-star in the film, Robin J., who lives 20 minutes from me, believe it or not, put together 14 thought leaders, and I am one of them because after I did the magazine, I stepped up my level of what I want to do, how I want to show myself. It's taking the healing community and saying, we have no bars held. Why can't a healer make money just like a doctor? Because our work is so intensely intentional, really, to help others sort through whatever their problems are in life, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, whatever level it is. I think I'm successful because I don't put any walls on who I am or how I do it. I just focus on love and everything sorts itself out. So we started the project 2 years ago, and I'm one of the thought leaders who is part of the storyline of how the adversities of life don't have to hold us back. That's basically the storyline. And I told my personal story, and I had to redo my lines. We have a different director now. Some things changed in the movie. We have a new storyline plus the old storyline. So everything is woven in so beautifully that when I really told my story last month, I was crying because I didn't even realize what I have been through until I got this chance to share it. That I don't think even people in my life really know about it. So I impressed myself, oh my God, I lived through that and didn't die.
And I love that you got to hear it in your own voice.
When I was putting together my lines about 2 months ago with the producer, I mean, it's amazing when the producer lives so close. I went to her house and she asked me, let's get the bullet points of what you want to say. I had to excuse myself out of the room so I could go cry. Because it's not some of the traumatic things that some of my co-stars have had. And yet when I heard my own story and realized that I have been through 2 deep spiritual awakenings, I think I stopped and started to celebrate my life. Oh, here's the pendant for the Keys movies, because I was just there with my co-stars while they were finishing up their lines. So I got to be with everybody this week and really celebrate the fact that we all are survivors of great things. But unless we stop and think about it, we don't even give ourselves credit for what we've been through,
Well, I love your story, and I love that chances that you've taken to actually leap forward into really what your purpose is. Like, that part of life is such a sweet spot of watching you live that out loud, you know, watching you actually be like thriving instead of just being here. I think that's the thing that a lot of people get caught up in is, you know, they just go from day to day. And I think it's beautiful to watch you. Like, the daily grind is not the daily grind. It's you get to do what you really want to do every single day. And that to me is a sexy life.
Hey, no money could put a price on that when you can just make choices every day, not based on prior decisions, but based on like, how do I want to show up today and who do I want to create for the world to see today? Yeah, you're right. That is the life that I have been promoting. And I'm actually in this leadership group right now, Kim, and it's called Life Worth Living. And they set it up. They put 4 quadrants at the beginning of the year, and we're like 3/4 of the way in now. And every quarter we get to look and see if we're still in it. And I started out at the beginning of the year. I got to decide where I was, and one of the quadrants was thriving, and I placed myself there in the first quarter. So when we were in the second quarter, from the first quarter till the second quarter, I sort of took a little nosedive. I allowed fear to take over. And then really what it was a readjustment period of all the new things that I was creating. There were some growing pains there. So the second quarter, I was in the, I think it was called something like unrecognized. And this is how we all got to decide, where are we? I said, I am so upset with myself. I'm not thriving right now, but it's really good to look at it. So in the third quarter, I got back into thriving again when I made those readjustments and hired 3 coaches, you being one of them for this collaboration group that we just finished. And I feel like a new person, but I'm in a deeper thriving place than I was at the beginning of the year when I didn't know what I didn't know was about to happen, to face reality, basically. And it does feel amazing to go through phases. And even when don't feel like you're on top of your game, realizing, okay, I just got to think different and tweak where I'm at and make these adjustments and get back to, or get even into a better position than where I was when I claimed thriving. This is much more thriving today than it was 8 months ago, even.
Well, I look at you and I think, you know, you are all of that and a bag of chips in my eyes. You are like an amazing person. And when we first met, we have a funny story between us, because when we first met, like, I fell in love with you right off and was so excited that I knew we were going to do something together. And then we didn't talk for 2 years. Is it 2 years?
In 2 years, yeah.
And then I kept seeing you on Connie Myers stuff, and I kept telling her, I know her, but I can't figure out where I know her from. And I told her, I said, it's not that I know her like I've met her. I know her. And she was like, I don't know, you know. And then one day it dawned on me, like, where we had met, that was us, and how amazing it was to have you come back into my life. And you know, and I'm thrilled that you're back in my life. And then you honored me with actually taking my class, the Collaboration 101 class, which blessed me even more. And you're at such a high level. This is something I would really like to know is, at the level you're at, why would you want to take that class? And what did you learn in that class, since you already are at this other high level?
Well, gosh, that's such an interesting question. And thank you so much for all the compliments. It's my job to receive that so that I can stay, at thriving. And I find sometimes compliments are a little uncomfortable just because I know where I am on the spiritual level. Like I tell everybody, I'm a spiritual gal. it's how I start my day and end my day. And then the in-between part, the human part, needs to have the technical tools that if we don't, how are we going to promote ourselves? And that's one of the things that I really got in touch with the second quarter of this year. I I had my daughter who's in her 30s come and sit with me like a month ago, and she said, I didn't know how to fix my Apple TV when one button, it's like I'm in my 50s. And she just said, my daughter always is one of those ones who gives me ahas because, our kids know how to push our buttons. She pushes and pulls. Mom, that's what Google is for. This is how I've been in all the things that you taught in the collaboration class, showed me to don't be afraid to do it and make mistakes, because let me just show you my creation. I'm so proud of this. I had a friend who did actually, her name is Fatima. She did the photo shoot on my picture, but here's my one sheet. And this just got created with my colors this week with everything. And what the thing is that I learned, Kim, you say do things messy. And I've always been a perfectionist. So when I first heard you say that, it sort of went, ooh, when it was messy, that I realized I'm not doing things because I don't want to look like it's not in its final stage. So I realized to get to the final stage, it takes steps. And you made it so harmless to start doing the work because I didn't feel judged. And that made all the difference in the world. So I did a one sheet. I got support on it. I know you looked at it. I was so happy with the colors that she did and the way my friend helped me. And then we did something on Canva that I had no idea how to do. So I'm learning to be okay with the baby steps in an area that I'm not. I would say that I'm in the learning stage. I'm in the infancy of, and not to be ashamed of it. It really helped because what I was letting happen is not doing these things. Like now I know I need to do a website, but I know that also one thing I really loved in the collaboration group were the people that attracted to do this class. I'm going to take another class with Christy Garcia, who I just fell in love with her, who you just had on right before me. She's honored me by putting me into her class where I'm going to learn about Instagram. But I already learned some basic tools with each of the 6 weeks that I was in your class. Every week felt like a new stepping stone to take me to a higher place where I can start doing business with confidence, because that is the area that I felt like it was so serendipitous that you offered this when I'm ready to launch something so huge that without these things, oh my goodness, I've been missing out, and I've known it, but I've been sitting in dread instead of welcoming the opportunity to slow down and do the things that are necessary, take me to the quantum leap that I'm about to experience with your help. I am such in gratitude for being part of the interview process for you. It's so easy. You've shown me how to do interviews with others, which I was doing anyways, but making them the star of the production was really big for me. When I heard that the first week that you said that, it stuck. It stayed with me. And as I watched some of the people in the class do their interviews and being there in a supportive role with them, it's what I do in spirituality, but now you've helped me ground it into the physical. Like I have been so on fire and in love with this because I'm feeling like I'm not alone anymore. And I can't thank you enough for that, Kim.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. This was about you, and you're going to make me cry. Thank you for your sweet words, because this class is my pivot, I feel like, in a way that I haven't taught this class in this way before. And I feel like I've hit my sweet spot. I may not be a movie star or the cover girl of Las Vegas magazine, but I absolutely feel like this class has created so much momentum for everyone who graduated. Like, you are one of the graduates, and I cannot be prouder of you. I already loved you. I mean, I already thought you were amazing, but I also understand the power that it gives you and the confidence it gives you and the things that, you know, were that you felt like, I'm going to say that you felt like we're missing. It took you to a new place because now you have those tools, and that to me makes me so proud. I can't hardly stand myself. Like, I am so excited for you and to see what that does for you. And I think the group is so special. I think everyone who, like you said, was attracted to this has come away with relationships that they didn't have before.
Absolutely. Cindy Lou stepped in, and I saw her logo was in colors that I loved. I didn't end up with those same colors, but their colors. I even had a pair of glasses that were purple and green, and I saw her Be Bold You, and I said, oh my God, I just fell in love with her a couple weeks ago, seeing the work that she's capable of. And she just stepped in and started saying, how can I support you?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the kind of people I have in my life, in the business that I am. But here I am now in this world that seemed so scary 6 weeks ago. And I have people wanting to support me and help take me to those places. Mm. You know, and I know I said a prayer to God that where I asked for the support in my life for the things that I feel I need help in. And I got it. I got it. I was even in Laguna last week looking, I was with friends. I found out how much I love Laguna Beach. I was in Huntington, really burned my forehead, but it was like the light was shining on my third eye saying, open up. And there was Cindy Lou all throughout the trip saying, how can I support you?
Yes.
It was unbelievable. Something like I had no expectations that I would get that kind of support, but I did in your group from so many. I did Angela Stillwell. She was in, where was she? Honduras, I think.
Honduras.
A couple weeks ago. We did a really messy interview, and I got so much out of it. I interviewed her. We kept having issues on my side. I was panicking that I was new to Be Live. That's another thing that I learned how to do through this group. And we still pulled it off, even though we had to reconnect once or twice. I knew the universe was just testing me to say, okay, are you going to quit or are you going to get through this? And I told the universe, I'm just going to do this thing, however it looks. And I felt so proud at the end of it that I had the same determination that is what gets me through life with everything I do. Now I could take it to this area where, and just be messy, give myself permission just to do it and accomplish something that I had always given up on, Kim. That's the thing. I was so embarrassed that I've always given up on me with technology. When my daughter looks at me and I said to her, well, you know, you were born with a joystick in your hand playing Nintendo that I didn't have. I lived when there weren't even computers, but you were born into the world of technology is just how we do things. And I felt like I am being dragged into this thing. And now I look at it like, okay, if I would just say yes, everything is going to show up for me. That's really been a big experience with this group. And now I'm looking forward to what is next. I can't believe I'm saying that.
And messy is beautiful. That's the part that's probably one of my core messages, is that messy is actually beautiful because you're moving forward. It doesn't have to look like what we think it needs to look like to be beautiful for others to watch. And you're having technology issues with the interview with Angela turned out to be a beautiful relationship you developed and a beautiful interview. So, I mean, I think that to me is exciting. And I have to watch myself not to cry again, because it's like that to me is such a huge thing, because you are an influencer, like a huge influencer. And one of my things that I say all the time, and if people don't know me, they think it's a prideful statement, but I am an influencer of influencers. It's not that I am better than anyone, but I am helping influencers learn how to increase their influence. And sometimes that looks really messy.
And it's something for you to be so proud of, because you're helping people that are launching themselves. This is not easy for all of us. You know, I'm in my 50s, and I used to look at that as an excuse, but now I see it as an opportunity to just really take me to a place that I was afraid of. Because without it, we all know, like the things I've been good at, I've built Facebook pages. My personal page has about 5,000 people. I have to go through between 30 and 50 people almost every month. The ones that, like, I'll see them pop up, but I have no idea who are they. They're people I've built over 10 years in real estate and healing. But somehow people got in there that I have no clue who they are. And if I don't even recognize their name, I'll go in, I'll look at it, I see if I connect with the energy, and then I just delete them, because this took 10 years to build that. I have one business page has 32,000 people on a business page. Now, I don't know all of them, but I know that because I'm going global and taking quantum leaps, I know that the way the social media works, it's good to have that many people on. Yes,
But
you can say something?
you may not know all of them, but they know you. That's the thing that I think is important to know about, like, the social media aspect.
Mm-hmm.
When someone follows you, they get to know you, especially when you're doing live video. They get to know you even if you never meet them.
Mm-hmm.
You are influencing them because they're following you.
Absolutely. And so my title that I put out in the movie, I was speaking to Don Miguel Ruiz of the Four Agreements, and I was able to ask a question, he and Danny and Brinkley, and I said, I'm a healer's healer. Do you have any advice for me? So when I heard you say you're an influencer of influencers, I get what you're talking about, that I need someone like you in my life to help me with the parts that I'm insecure about, that I have felt like without that, I know how important social media is, but my brain can't, or I'll be careful in my language, hasn't been able to take in how I am with healing and how I support other people. Now it's time for me to draw back in and say, well, what do I need? Because I need a website. I had a website. I called GoDaddy yesterday and said, where's my website? And they said, well, we have the domain name, but you were hosting it somewhere else. So, but the thing is that I didn't really care about that because of my presence on Facebook. But I realized when this movie we're having our premiere in January, I'm going to need to have a website. It's for the credential part of it. So I need somebody to help me build a quick website because I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, but I know that I need a website. So if anybody's out there listening and wants to support me in that, and I know I need it, but like when I look at it, it seems very daunting to me.
When it's the unknown, I think that's the key to it, is the confidence comes from knowing that you can press on and be messy, but it also comes from knowing that in a collaboration setting, there are people giving of themselves in different ways that are not like being, I don't know what the right word is. They're not selling you something in a collaboration. They're supporting you. And I think that's one of the keys to this group. I love this group because of that. Like, you all supported each other. Even when my notification stopped and I couldn't get in the group for a little bit, all of you just went on and still did class together, like supporting each other and making things happen. And as an influencer of influencers, that's the cream of the crop to me. Like, that's the very big thing, is you don't need me. I have actually empowered you.
Well, I love what you did when you said, I would really like you guys to support each other. When we did the Hope to Hope conference, I believe most of us or all of us were on that. I went in and I started watching other people, got to know them through your interaction with them, and started to fall in love. And I created these relationships where, whether we actually meet in real life or not, I feel like I know them. In
Mhm.
6 weeks, how does that happen? The support and the energy of sitting with each other was really empowering and impactful to me. Good job. I love that.
You just have made my day yet again. We are so over time now. I laugh because you and I get in trouble every time there's a time involved. But thank you so much for like graduating Collaboration 101. Thank you for doing this interview on the Collaboration Summit. And thank you for just showing up and being you.
Oh, thank you. I don't know who else to be. And I'm blessed by knowing you, Kim. You're going to do great things. I think the people that are going to get in your future collaboration classes are going to be even more empowered. I think you had a great group, and we really did set the bar for the next classes coming in. They're going to be great people that you will attract again. I'm honored. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you're watching us on this session, let us know that you're here. Like if you come back and watch on the replay, be sure and put hashtag replay so that we know you're here. This has been an amazing first day, and it's not over yet. We have another session at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, and then we have 2 more days. I want to encourage you, if you've missed the first sessions, go back and watch. If you can be on live with this, be on live with this. But if not, go back and watch, because every one of these people are doing amazing things in the world. And I am so blessed by all of them and all of you who are following. So love you guys. We'll see you in just a little bit at the next session.